Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 252 on September 15th, 2021. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, everybody.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
I've been working on my radio voice. How do you like it?
Hey. It sounds amazing.
Sorry.
Wow, you're smoking too much, man.
I am.
Okay, too many cigars.
Yeah.
Maybe you could pull out some Barry White sheet music and read off of that.
Let's get it on. Something like that. That was Barry White, right?
I think so. I don't know. I wasn't a big Barry White, but I mean, it was like, oh, that's Barry White. Oh yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, that's cool. But I didn't like go out and like get his records.
Well, all I know is due to the Bloodhound Gang, I know that I am white like Frank Black is, not like, or I'm not black like Barry White. I am white like Frank Black is. Okay. That's all I
know. So I want to tell you a story. I live in a neighborhood where the houses were all basically made by the same developer. So, I mean, they're nice houses and all.
They're all the same, right?
They're like the same four houses, cookie cuttered and painted slightly differently.
Yeah. Not too different because HOA.
No, HOA demands certain colors, of course. Yeah. It's one of those kind of things. It's fine. Doesn't bother me so much. So we all have the same, same basic house design, and we all have the same very, very sensitive smoke detectors. And so if you cook something and you get a little smoky and any of it, you burn anything at all, it likes to go off. And the joke is, somebody's cooking something down the neighborhood because you can hear the alarm going off, and it's fine. There's no problem. A couple nights ago, I put everybody to bed and I do a couple of the chores like I need to, and every night I do, and I sit down and it's like, okay, I'm gonna get some work done. Let's do some work before I go get tired and go to sleep. And I could hear that noise in the background. It's like, that's that beeping. That's a fire alarm. Is that ours? No, it's not ours. And I opened the back door, and there's a house up the hill that's on fire. It's like right next to me. So yeah. So mentally, I have to make the decision: do I wake up my wife or not? So of course I did.
So this was essentially the fable about the smoke detector that cried fire. Happened so many times that when there was actually a fire, nobody paid it any attention.
No, we kind of paid attention. You
don't pay attention until you hear the fire trucks.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, our fire trucks were very quiet. They went silent. Up to the house at night a lot of times they will. Yeah, so they went and they did their work. We were all in the backyard and we were hosing down. We did, because there was a lot of burning ash coming down towards our house, so we got our hoses out just to make sure we weren't picking up any little fires. Because we haven't had rain here in a long time. Actually, we're looking forward to having a weekend of rain here because we need it. So yeah. That was quite the I woke up my wife with you have to wake up because the neighbor's house is on fire. And she's like, oh really? Get your shoes on. It's like, okay. So that was the excitement of my week and my weekend recently. Everything else has been server queries and LDAP queries and other fun stuff with setting up computer labs and fun stuff at school. So I live, sleep, and dream that stuff now. So
your fire department should be happy that it happened during the nice weather, as opposed to my neighbor's house that caught on fire back in February, And I'm standing there in my kitchen watching the policemen try to pull hoses down the street, and they keep falling down because the road was so icy. And I was just like, I was laughing. Their house is on fire, but I can't stop laughing at the firefighters rolling around in the street.
Did you have Benny Hill running in your head?
Well, no, it was just more me, former firefighter, shaking my head going, it's amateur hour.
You were a firefighter, sir?
I was, but
good job, sir.
But yes.
That's where you got the smoky voice, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. But we used to go to the smoke deck, and we'd tell people that we were training. We want to be able to just breathe smoke, and we don't need the gear.
I also know many firefighters. My father was a volunteer firefighter for many years.
It was a volunteer firefather,
something like that. And he's told me stories about the close calls he's had, and and I know a lot of the people out there who've they've had the dealing with that with it, and they all smoke. They all would smoke. So I guess they just like getting used to it. I guess that's true.
Yeah. Well, on that note, should we get into what we're actually here for?
We could talk about a different kind of fire. Amazon and their Fire Stick TVs or Fire TVs. Amazon is now starting to sell their own lines of televisions with built-in Fire Sticks or Fire, whatever you want. And it's
got Fire OS built in.
The Fire OS, yes. They've got two different lines, one called the 4 series and one called the Omni series, I think it's called. Yes. That these are going to be starting out at $409 and $369.
How much do you want to bet that the 4 series is aimed at the TCL 4 series? I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally the same TV. They just got
I'm almost sure it would be the same manufacturer.
But that's why, I mean, TCL does manufacture their own stuff, but it wouldn't be hard for Amazon to get TCL to make them a white label version of their TV, and they put the Fire TV in it instead of the Roku that everyone's expecting, and that one is fine. The Omni one, my brain immediately goes to Walmart's On brand and also Best Buy. What was Best Buy's TV brand? Element. Not Insignia, because Insignia is just whatever. But yeah, there was the Element and the On are the two things I think of when I hear Omni, which is not a good thing because the Omni is the higher level TV.
But the Walmart brand On is considered one of the lowest tier brands.
That's what I'm saying is when I'm thinking of the higher tier brand, my brain shouldn't be sizing it up with the lower tier.
I mean, maybe it's a mid-tier thing. Maybe it's a more like a Vizio or something.
I just mean between the two of these lines that they're putting out, the Omni is supposed to be the higher line.
I know, but I'm just trying to think. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a different brand altogether they're aiming it at. So I just don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised that it took them this long. They've been doing the Amazon Basics for literally everything else. So why not?
I feel like Amazon has had a very cautious time getting into any major market ever since they really stubbed their foot on the Amazon Fire Phone.
Oh,
ever since they did
that phone,
it's when they did that, and that was such a bomb. They didn't even try again. They totally just went ahead and said, "Nope, we're done here." And which was interesting because I was thinking all they needed to do was iterate 2 more times, and they probably would have had a market, something that would have taken up a good portion of the market, quite frankly. And I'm happy they didn't because I don't like Amazon, but just a little perseverance on their side, they could have gotten somewhere with that. And so it doesn't feel like they've pushed themselves into anything else.
What's up? You hear that?
Yeah.
The fire truck's going somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys. I was talking about my place, not his place.
So would that be Tacoma FD? The guys from the TV show? No? Okay.
No, we're too south for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jimmy?
I was going to say, I do find this interesting. I mean, you're starting to see more guys like Amazon starting to put their streaming box inside the television. Kind of makes you think, okay, well, what's next? Are the cable companies going to start doing the same thing?
Well, this is more than them putting it in, because there are TVs that have Fire TV built in. This would be like Roku manufacturing its own TV, because Amazon is, this is a step beyond.
So think if somebody like Comcast did this, right?
I don't think they could, because Comcast is limited by region. You see, that's the problem that they've had, is they can't provide the service to everybody because they're still locked to their region.
Right. So it would just be a regional television.
Yeah. I don't think they would do that, just mainly because it would, the cost, the investment to get that off the ground, to potentially sell it to 100 people.
Right.
Yeah. But that does though beg the question, will Roku start making their own TVs? And I don't think they will.
Well, if we see an actual Apple TV and an actual Google TV, then absolutely, this makes sense. No, I sure hope this is another failure. I don't need Amazon branded everything, quite frankly. But again, that's my pessimism with Amazon. Let's move on from that. I don't need to talk about that anymore.
Well, let's talk about another Amazon device.
Okay,
the
fine.
The Fire TV Stick, the
this
4K Max.
The Fire TV Stick 4K Max, because they couldn't think of another thing to call it, apparently. Well, it's available for $55, and it is got a little bit better bump on all the different settings and all the features. You got more memory. You got about a 40% faster processor. You've got a Wi-Fi 6 compatibility, so that's your 802.11ac for those people who keep track of that stuff. And what?
I was going to say, but the name of the 4K Max, do you know why that's
Because it's minimal.
Because Amazon does not have HBO Max on their platform at all.
They don't. I thought they. Okay. Well, I swear they did. I thought that was fixed. But okay, if they don't. That's all right. No, this is a nice little bump. If you're looking for an inexpensive 4K solution, then especially if you're looking for one that's using the Fire OS device, this is a good option for you guys. So.
Yeah, we're starting to see Wi-Fi 6 in devices, which is cool. Very few people even know what Wi-Fi 6 is, let alone have routers or networks that support it. But it's nice to know in 5 years, when you're ready to throw this thing away, you might finally be able to use it.
So Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6 is not the AC. That was Wi-Fi 5, wasn't it? This is Wi-Fi 6, which is AX, which is the one that can give you super fast speeds as long as you can get a good line of sight. But pretty much anything blocks it.
And then it also gives you the biggest thing about Wi-Fi 6 is the security increases in your wireless credentials. But
okay, well, that's fine. So gotcha. Makes you feel better because it's about pacifier. That's okay. Hey, well, about a different solution. If you wanted something else, the guys at the Anchor have an option for you. You can go ahead and get from them the new Nebula dongle. It's an Android TV box. It's a little guy that it will. It's very small. It uses the Google TV's standard remote. I believe they call it the G10 for that model for the remote.
Yeah.
And so this guy, it's good news for you. It's not the kind of thing that dangles off the end of the TV. You actually can place it down on the back on the ground behind the TV, and it's only selling for a whole $89, which
Okay.
actually is kind of expensive.
You had me until you said it, $89. I'll
You can
take
get the
I'll take
the
two
the on.
TiVos, please.
Yeah, you can get the on for what, $29, and you can get the Sabrina for 50.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what I was saying. Is
Well, I mean, this one does do 4K, but
they all do.
yeah, well, that's what I'm about to say. So it does 4K, but if it said 4K with HDR,
Yeah, it
okay,
does.
maybe.
Well,
Right.
it is for 4K and HDR as well as Dolby
Oh yeah,
Digital
no,
Plus.
yeah, okay. I didn't read further down
Yeah,
into the
so I
article
mean,
yet.
this
So it
does
does do
all the
HDR.
this does all the things you want,
Mhm.
but my thing is for $90. That's a dead in the water product. Considering the official Google product is pretty much half the price, so are all the other.
Right.
You know, the only thing that it's cheaper than, I mean, at $90, it's cheaper than an Apple TV, but
I mean,
everything's cheaper than an Apple TV.
a
You know,
Roku, yeah, but a Roku Ultima costs about the same price. No?
yeah, and that's the point. Is
Right.
I no, sorry, Anchor. I was actually excited to see another player.
Right. So Wabbit mentions that some people are loyal to Anchor. I actually really like Anchor products. They're really, really
Sure.
good products. They're also usually fairly cheap.
That's my point is, and that leads into my point. If it were priced relative to the rest of the market, the rest of the Android TV market, I think this would be a good addition. It's the price. They price themselves out of the market.
Well, I started to say, well, maybe it's got a better processor or something like that. But if you read an article, it says the processor in use is not mentioned.
It's saying that it's not.
Yeah.
So you don't know if it's really good or not, right? It may just be the same as what a $50 box has, right?
Yeah.
So,
Maybe what the Anchor is doing is they're doing that thing that they always do. The retail price is going to be $89, but it's going to be on sale for $40.
It could be, but if it had a really good, strong processor, I could justify that cost. But if you don't know what it is, then no, I probably wouldn't buy it either.
I mean, I've already got the Sabrina and the TiVo,
right?
And honestly, I haven't been using either, so I don't need this, especially not at almost $100. So. All right.
Well, that's okay. As you mentioned, it is cheaper than an Apple TV. And so Apple, of course, decided, maybe they can bring their prices down. How thoughtful of them. It'd be nice to have an inexpensive Apple box. Know what I mean? So they released their recertified options for their Apple 4K TV models. You can get the refurbished 32 gigabyte model for $149 with the new Siri remote. By the way, you get the new remote, not the old one. Totally worth $50 on its own, right?
Compared to $179 brand new.
Yeah, well, or you could spend $169 to get the 64 gig model compared to $199 brand new.
So basically, they're $30 off if you want somebody's garbage, literally.
Or somebody's, oh man, I didn't really want this, send it back. Yeah. Oh,
I mean, one thing though, if you are considering it, if you're a student or you're prior military, you get a discount. Either one of those two groups. Being a former military, I always get 10% off.
That's nice. I don't.
Well, maybe you need to become former military.
That's right. That's what I need to do, just for the 10% off.
Or if you got somebody in your family who is, right?
I got lots of people in my family who are former military, but I'm fine. I don't mind paying full price. It's fine.
Especially when it's $30 off, because it was broken at one point.
Well, the good thing about that 10% off, you get 10% off the refurbished price as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Well, you know what is broken? My wife's heart, because she can no longer get HBO through the Amazon Prime channels. So that's right. She's been watching Friends, and she's been watching it through Amazon Prime channels. And she turned to me today and said, I can't watch it anymore. And I said, we could subscribe directly. And she goes, no, I can't do that. Yes, you can. No, HBO has left the Amazon Prime channels market because HBO wants to get people to go to subscribe directly in order to get HBO Max. I'm sure that's they're cutting out a little bit of the middleman there, and also that's fine for them.
Yeah, this has been a battle that's been going for over a year now. This was the only place where standalone HBO was still available, mainly because they didn't want to, screw over the subscribers, and that being subtext where they didn't want to lose the subscribers. But Amazon won't let them bring the app, the HBO Max app, onto the platform. They want it to be in channels. But HBO Max doesn't want it to be in channels because they don't want to share the revenue and let Amazon do the money handling, which is the whole point of channels, right? So you just get one bill from Amazon.
It's so much easier when you're to deal with a payment of something when it's on your phone bill or whatever.
I get that. But, and there's also the thing is,
I don't.
Why are you paying $15 a month for HBO by itself when for the same price you could be getting HBO Max?
Right.
Get it elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people are diehard Fire OS fans, and yeah, I get the appeal of the all-in-one place billing, but still, yeah, I mean, there's going to be people that are just going to quit HBO. There's going to be people that over this that are going to quit Fire OS altogether.
Maybe it's possible.
HBO Max is everywhere else. This is literally.
Are you sure it's not on that platform?
That was the thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure because Amazon wouldn't let the app because they wanted it to be unless it was part of channels, and HBO said no to channels. But
but you can still do the HBO app on the Fire TV, though, right?
No, that's what I was saying.
You can't.
Okay, I don't.
I
think you can.
See,
it's there.
Oh, okay. Then I was wrong.
It's there.
Yeah, there's two different things, right? So there's one, you can have it as a standalone app and use it there, but then Apple TV has this similar thing too, right? It is where you can subscribe to various channels.
I get that, but
right.
I was thinking, my understanding originally was that they weren't allowing the HBO Max app at all unless it was part of channels.
Right.
And so the app is there, then yeah, who cares?
See, I remember that we were talking about the fact that it seems like as soon as the Wonder Woman came out with HBO Max onto the Roku, and we were like, oh goodness, they got it all. It seems like everybody had everything except somebody didn't have Peacock still, if I remember correctly.
Fire TV.
Fire TV didn't have Peacocks on, which I don't know if that's been resolved yet.
I don't know.
But it felt like everybody had everything. It felt like a moment of like, oh, everybody's being happy with each other. And then you saying this was like, really?
Yeah.
No, I think it's on there. It's all right. But it's okay.
So,
if you're a YouTube TV subscriber and you've been waiting to get more Spanish language channels, I've got good news for you. They're adding 3 for free. You get the Univision, you get Galavision, and Unimas. Excuse me.
Unimas.
These are three from the Univision lineup of channels, so available for you. And they're also going to be working on providing a new set of on-demand channels that you will be able to get and pay $6 a month for in the future as well.
Is Una Mas the Latin version of Quibi? 1 minute?
Una Mas is
Or
for
1
kids,
moment.
apparently.
Oh, for kids. I was going to say, isn't Una Mas like, or maybe that's un momento. No, I don't know.
Una momento would be 1 minute, I believe.
But one moment.
Una Mas would be one more.
One more. Okay. Yeah.
Una Mas.
So that would be the Latin equivalent of what's that thing where used to be singing, now people are just twerking.
You mean TikTok?
Yes. It's the Latin TikTok because you go one more. Just one more. Just one more. And then it's like 2 days later and your phone's like dead.
I gotta say, the name One More for a television service is great because it is that, I just need to watch one more kind of thing, which is great. I'm about to say it's perfect. So if you have been if you have been a fan of using Nintendo Switch, you've been thinking this is great, it's a portable device, I can take with it really anywhere, I can play games on it on the battery, go completely wireless. You think to yourself, and then you bring out your Bluetooth headphones and you think to yourself, damn, this doesn't work. Why, Nintendo? Why? Well, Nintendo has just recently answered your questions because we hadn't figured it out yet, and they just figured it out. They are providing you with the option of being able to turn on the Bluetooth audio at last onto the Nintendo Switch. This works on apparently all models of the Nintendo Switch. This will allow you to connect Bluetooth audio only to your ears. It doesn't do any kind of microphone back to the device. But we'll provide an option for you to get Bluetooth audio to your ears for Bluetooth audio, but we'll limit you to a total of 2 wireless controllers, which means either 2 separate Pro controllers, for example, or both the Joy-Cons as 2 separate ones. Now, these limitations are because they obviously are competing with the bandwidth needed for the Bluetooth chip to send the information to all those devices at the same time. I don't know if the new version, the OLED, the SWOLED, as some people call it, the Switch OLED, slightly larger Switch OLED, SWOLED, don't like it? Okay. They don't know if that is going to be having a newer chip design that's able to handle the Bluetooth audio and the extra controllers at the same time. And there might be information about that, but I have not read that yet. People were hoping.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea that this wasn't already a thing. It took them this long to allow Bluetooth headphones?
Yep, that was one of the things, is that there was no Bluetooth headphones on the Switch. None. You couldn't do it. You could only use, there were people who had third-party hacks. So like a little thing that would like plug in and give you like an extra Bluetooth chip to get it out, so a little dongle essentially. There were people who were doing something over the USB-C port, trying to get audio over that. People were making that work, but no actual support built into it. You had to do plugged in headphones until now. Now you can do Bluetooth over it. This is because Nintendo is famous for...
All you had to say was because Nintendo.
Nintendo's,
that was all enough said.
Nintendo's still has a voice chat option on the Switch, but it requires you to use your phone. It's true. If you want to chat with somebody else using your Switch, you have to pull your phone out.
And
really
use
sad.
an app called Discord.
No, well,
like everybody else.
That would probably work better than the one.
That was my point. If I have to pull out an additional device, then I'm just going to use the app that I use for everything else. I'm not going to use your janky, like, custom lockdown thing. Yeah, so because Nintendo.
Yeah, well, that's... All right, we had updates from Apple. Not much information for us guys that are talking about the streaming technology here. But one thing that they did update is they have a new update for the HomePod Mini that will allow you to... There's an update to the APIs they've got out there, which will allow you to take your Apple TV and set the HomePod Mini as one of your default speakers or your default speaker when using the device, instead of having to bring up the device, talk to Siri, tell it to start using it, or maybe some type of manual setting. Now you can set it and forget it. It will just always use the HomePod Mini inside there. So,
yeah, I guess if you're someone that uses the HomePod Mini as your primary listening device, then this is probably a good thing.
if it's in your main room and your TV speakers suck, you might as well.
Yeah.
It might be better than most TV speakers, but man, I don't know. When I think of a home theater system, I just don't think of a HomePod Mini.
Well, if you've got somebody that all they could afford was an Element TV or an Insignia TV from Best Buy because they spent all their money on Apple products, then this is probably a good option.
Well, I mean, the speaker is cheaper than the TV, but
well,
no,
not always.
We didn't say it was a big TV. I'm talking one of those $120 like.
The speaker's only $99.
Yeah, trust me, I've seen Element TVs for under $99.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I mean, what a little bit out of balance there. If somebody had one of those TVs, but it had a HomePod Mini. Okay.
Well, that's because they wasted all their money on the new iPhone and whatever the top Mac tower is nowadays, and
the Mac Pro.
Yeah,
the cheese grater, the $1,000 stand computer. $400 wheels. Okay, $400 wheels. Okay.
Those are for video editors, which not
the wheels.
I have $400 wheels on my car.
Exactly.
Each one cost $100, and there were 4 of them. So I have $400 wheels.
I'm not saying that you should buy those. I'm saying those are for people that are none of us.
I understand. You have to excuse us as we make fun of the ridiculously priced items that they put on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like saying, hey, a Rolls Royce costs way too much money, right?
It does.
But none of us would ever buy one, right?
Correct. Clyde is suspiciously quiet.
I was going to make a comment about quality, but it's okay. I don't want to go.
All right. We're going to move on from that subject. We're going to talk about Quibi. Speaking of quality, Quibi. They are, huh?
Una más.
Una más.
Okay. Quibi is they are working to settle all their various money woes and lawsuits that happen based on their attempt and fail at a streaming service. Quibi, as one of their big claims to fame, is their ability to have a stream that was both landscape and horizontal, and you could switch on the fly. And they are going to take that feature, they call it the turnstile feature, and they're going to sell it that technology off to another company. And they're doing this in order to settle a lawsuit from another company called Echo, which claims to have patents on that technology. So this is them taking that technology somewhere else to somebody else. So don't know if this means it's going away forever, or if we're going to start seeing this being being used by and licensed out by other people, or we don't know what this.
Well, they're transferring the turnstile tech to Echo.
Oh, okay.
Who was the company that sued them, saying, hey, that's our technology. Okay. So they're taking it and saying, yeah, okay, fine, just we're done with it, whatever, you can have it.
You can have it back. Sorry, we took this technology, you can have it back now.
But yeah, I mean, so Echo sued, but Quibi said, hey, we ain't got no money, you can have it.
Well, it could be worse. They could get nothing, so it's cool. Now they really have that technology. Maybe they can really, license it out and make a big deal about it. Maybe we can see switching. Anytime you see a switching TV, you could think, Echo, they're gonna sue you for that. Excellent, because they now really own it.
The thing that my Android phone has done for 10 years.
Yeah. You know.
Is this going to be our last Quibi story ever?
No, heck no. No. I don't think so. That's not possible.
I don't think so either. I would have thought it would have already come, but
PlayStation
but apparently
View
not.
still comes up every now and then. And that's been gone for what, 2 years?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's possible. Hey, so are you guys gamers?
No.
No, okay, fine. Do you know anybody who are gamers?
No.
You? I'm a gamer. Me?
I don't know.
Oh, a little
More so
bit.
than I am.
Well, a little
Well,
bit.
that's because Jimmy can't play games on his
Jimmy
Mac.
can't. Oh.
Yeah. Solitaire is the game. I think.
Wow, you finally have solitaire? I'm sorry, man. Okay. A lot of people who are quote unquote gamers nowadays play a lot of games on their phones, which
Okay.
that's fine though. And if you're a guy who plays on their phones, you know what sucks about playing on their phones?
Holding your phone sideways because it's not natural.
That and the fact that, unless you have a controller dedicated for the phone, you're using a touchscreen on it.
Yeah.
And when you're using a touchscreen on it, your thumbs get tired and maybe you get oils on the screen and maybe you start getting sweaty. I remember when I was a kid, I remember getting Nintendo thumb. That was a thing. Because your thumb would get, kind of numb because you've been playing Nintendo.
Oh, I thought Nintendo thumb was your thumb got so beefy. You'd have like this little hand and this giant thumb.
No, Nintendo thumb is when you played Nintendo so long that your thumb started feeling numb. So, but Razer, those guys who are all about the gamers, have come out with a new product which is specifically designed for those guys who are gaming on their phones on the touchscreens all day long. They've thought of everything you might need, so they've invented socks for your thumbs. That's right. They absorb sweat. They are still able to conduct electricity, so they will still work like normal. They will make sure that you are not leaving streaks on your screen as you're using them, and they're high precision, so they are very easy for you to control on that screen.
Condoms.
They
They're
made
condoms for your thumbs.
so that you can practice safe gaming.
Well, if you ever pick up somebody else's phone and play and start gaming on it.
No, you don't touch anybody else's mobile device. That's like, you may as well just like let them lick you in the face.
This is why you need condoms on your thumbs, right?
Yeah.
No, that actually, I think this is a pretty cool idea, quite frankly, especially if it's if I were playing this kind of games like this a lot. Although at this point, I'd say I'd rather have a controller that's attached to the phone, but that's me. But yeah, having these little socks in your
thumb
thumbs.
booties.
I don't think it's the worst idea.
I didn't say it was the worst idea. I just think it's dumb.
Maybe
there
your
are
thumbs
plenty
are
of
cool.
ideas that were much worse than this.
So, I mean, it begs the question, why do they stop at the thumbs?
Because you're only using your thumbs when you're using your device.
Well, what about the other fingers that are holding it?
Right.
Do you use the other fingers
Try to hold
touch
it
the
with
screen?
try to hold it with just your thumbs.
No, it's not for holding. It's
No, it's for touching the screen.
it's in order for you to touch the screen and to affect the game. That's the point of it. And
Okay.
And look silly on the bus.
and look
But then
very
when
silly.
people see you wearing them, they realize why you're riding the bus.
Because it's cheaper, man. It's much cheaper. All right. But no, these are for sale. They'll be available for $10. So actually, I think it's a cool idea. This would be something I would totally give somebody as a gift if they were playing on their phone a lot. Totally.
I think they're probably going to be, or how much are they?
$10.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
I'm
I
sure
thought
they'll
they'd
make-
be much more expensive.
I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
Maybe. Yeah, that probably will.
For
All right.
for Christmas, everybody on the VOD squad is getting a pair of these.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. All right. We have a story that is particular to my heart because I have always been a big fan of sitting back and watching my Mariners baseball team, not because they're good, but because I enjoy the background noise and I can do other things while they're on. was always a great time that I could watch them whenever I had whatever cable service I had, because I had access to Root Sports. Root Sports carries a lot of the Root Sports Northwest carries a lot of the teams up here in the Pacific Northwest for us,
Okay.
and it's really great. When we cut cable, I lost access because the only way you can get Root Sports is through cable. And AT&T's or DirecTV had their special deal. They had it too, but I refused to go through them because I didn't like them, and their pricing was got ridiculous way too fast. I even messaged them and said to them, feedback. I said, please give us another option so we can watch your shows. I can watch my teams on something other than on this, because we're streaming and we don't want to have to get a cable connection or anything like that. Well, Root Sports. Tough. No, Root Sports said they're announcing now to have a streaming deal with Fubo TV, which makes perfect sense because Fubo TV does focus on the various
Fubo is the sports-centric option.
Yeah, the sports-centric option, and so they are right now available on Fubo TV if you are in the Pacific Northwest region. And they also mentioned that they are looking at other streaming options as well, so it may become something available on other solutions as well. So maybe it'll end up on YouTube TV or Hulu TV Live, or who knows, for a Pacific Northwest option. That'd be great.
Okay.
You confused, sir?
I'm confused by this picture. Is there actually a arena called Climate Pledge?
I have no idea.
It says Climate Pledge Arena.
Is that the Key Arena? Did they rename the Key Arena?
I have no idea. That's why I'm asking. Because if they did, that is the dumbest name I have ever heard. That is even worse than renaming Jack Murphy Stadium to Qualcomm.
I'm looking up Climate Pledge Arena, and I looks like it
was
is...
Lemon, or they didn't like Lemon Pledge, so they went with Climate Pledge instead.
Yeah, it appears to be what used to be Key Arena. So KeyBank used to be it used to be KeyBank's Arena. KeyBank apparently has lost their time, so somebody called it the Climate Pledge Arena. I have no idea what's going on like this.
It sounds like a new Enron to me, but okay.
Okay, that's news to me. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it. Let's see here. Ubisoft has they make games.
Yeah,
and they've had a game for a while called Driver, I guess.
They did like 20 years ago. It was fun.
I never played Driver, so apparently they are working on a new television show called Driver TV. It's a gaming-oriented streaming show. I'm not exactly certain what's going on with this. It's going to be coming out hopefully in 2022. And are you interested in a video game television show based on driving?
Possibly. I enjoyed the game. So you got all the cool driving. It was like, for people like me that didn't care about all the mission stuff in Grand Theft Auto and just wanted to do the crazy stuff in the cars.
That sounds cool.
And that's where Driver came in. It was set up like you're a stunt man or whatever, but for the first one, and then
dropped all pretenses and just let you play the game after that.
Maybe as much as I can be excited about any video game turned TV show. The Witcher was okay.
That's true, but it says they don't know if it's going to be. Apparently, there was a plot in one of the games. It's got a racer turned undercover agent called John Panner, and apparently they might be doing something along that plot line. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Let's see if they can make a video game into a TV show.
I mean, they are making Sony is making a Twisted Metal TV show starring, I think, that Anthony Mackie guy. I don't know what he's from, but I know the name. I think he's in it. So yeah, I mean, maybe this is the year we finally get a Siphon Filter series.
Okay. Well, I can't think of many video games that made it to a series except for The Witcher off the top of my head, especially any that did well. So I'd be interested to see. I mean, I'm sure there was some Saturday morning cartoons. I think Pac-Man became a television show, but I don't care.
What was the one with
Falcon?
the guy, the dragon guy or knight guy that's trying to get the girl, that it was the weird Laserdisc game that cost like $2 to play back in the 80s. I can't think of the name now. Not Dragon.
You're thinking Dragon's Lair?
Yes, Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair had a cartoon series that I watched religiously.
Really?
That was back in the 80s.
Right.
I actually remember that game.
Yeah, I'd never played the game until I was an adult because the game was too expensive, and you would die immediately. If
you'd have to know exactly when to put the inputs in. I remember playing a couple of those same games and being like super frustrated that you didn't know exactly how to.
I could play Galaga for hours with what it would cost me to play that game for a minute. Yeah. No,
You're ready for a driver series?
How do we watch this though? It's supposed to be on its own special new platform, something like that.
I don't know if it's going to be on to a certain platform. Maybe somebody will pick it up. Who knows? But I don't see it.
It's on Binge, a free gaming-oriented streaming service due to launch in 2022.
Oh,
so as long as it's free, I'm in.
Okay.
Is this playing the game or
no?
This is a TV.
This is a TV show based on the game.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's good. We'll find out if it's any good.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll decide later if we like it. And let's see. I think our last story is kind of a big one for us, at least. So we've been following this lawsuit going on between Epic and Apple. Epic has been sued Apple for their practices of how they were trying to control how they were selling their Fortnite game and how that was working for them. So the judge finally came back, and the ruling is Apple's not doing anything wrong. Apple's not a monopoly. Apple can continue being only selling stuff through their store. Everything's fine. Everything's just should stay the same, except Apple, you can't stop people from telling people and linking to an outside way of paying for stuff if they want to. Which is an interesting ruling because depending on how you look at it, Apple is or isn't a monopoly, so that's fine. So that's the case. Then, because there's competition outside from Google and from the other from other companies, like at the Amazon stores and things like that, then Apple is not a monopoly. Although, okay, makes sense. The fact that they're not required to have any kind of store, the walled garden will exist forever in this case. So if this holds up. And if we and happily, if Apple is not allowed to say in their agreements, you can't leak to an outside way of ordering stuff for the game. That means everybody is going to have a link to their store to get their stuff.
They already should.
They were not allowed to.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is they should, and they are allowed to now. So yes,
it's already happening. South Korea passed a law about this. So if you're talking about within the United States, this is probably the first time it's happening, but it's already been happening if you go global with it, right? So a lot of other countries are already doing this.
Yeah. The analogy I would make is you go to any other kind of store, go to the grocery store, there are hundreds of products that say, hey, you can order it directly from us. It's right there on their product that the store is selling. Imagine if the store said, you can't put that on your product. They'd just be like, all right, we just won't sell in your store.
Okay. I think this is like an okay ruling. I'm not like upset about this. It's
No.
okay. Now, I'm happy that they did that because I did think that was ridiculous that they were
I mean,
basically making it.
Apple has the right to run their store any way they want, but yeah,
basically what this is doing is just saying, just give people a choice, right? I mean, a choice to either go outside the App Store or not. And the thing is, if you on the Mac, right? I mean, it has an App Store, but you have the freedom to install apps outside the App Store, right?
What?
So this is not quite like that because you're still not able to install apps outside of the App Store on the iPad or iPhone. You're only allowed to go outside the App Store and outside of the Apple purchasing system in order to buy things like add-ons and other additional features. Like the example that's kind of famous is if you were, for the longest time, you wanted to buy a book through for your Kindle app. They couldn't link you to the web page where you could go get the books, and you definitely couldn't buy the books online without paying Apple the 30% fee. So for the longest time, they weren't allowed to do it. They did this weird, you get a subscription outside of it, and the subscription gets you so many credits per month, and use the credits against it. And that was all convoluted because Apple made that difficult. Now it's officially, according to this judge, you can make a link that goes outside onto an own website, and you can make your own purchases outside of that and get those benefits back in that app. You still have to go through the App Store to get the app. You still have to go to the App Store to, if you want to be purchasing your stuff through the Apple interface, Apple gets their 30%. But if you want to go circumvent that, Apple cannot stop you from telling the audience and showing a link to the audience of how to do that. So,
all right. Well, you know what else is awesome?
I don't know. Pants are awesome.
No, they're not. Pants are the worst. I
Comfy
absolutely
pants.
hate pants.
Comfy pants are
No,
awesome.
No. No. But you got the P right. We're talking about patrons.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's all about
patrons
pants.
are better than pants.
Wow.
When was the last time your pants supported something that you created? They usually just they're along for the ride, right?
Dude, you need to stop talking about what my pants are supporting and move on.
Okay, moving on. Don't be like Matt or
don't be like me.
Matt's pants. You should support this show. You can support this show by going to patreon.com/the VOD Squad. That's it. Moving on. Should we get to some rants and some rapes?
I guess.
All right. All right. Rants or rapes.
Matt, you get anything?
Sorry, what?
Do you have anything?
I don't see
Believe it or
anything in the
not,
doc, so
I
he's got
don't
nothing.
have anything to rant or rave about. I have been just busy, and I told that thing about with the fire in the neighborhood because that was hilarious. I'm trying to think if there was anything I was working on recently.
You don't have any rants about pants?
Pants are awesome, dude. I don't rant about pants. Pants support me. I support pants. More like they support me. But that's besides the point. But no, it's been just busy time, and I've been. I mean, this weekend I can't even think what I was doing this weekend because I was just so dead because I needed the weekend, and I don't even remember what I was working on. You know what? It'll come to me later. Come back to me.
Okay, we'll come back. Jimmy, what about you?
Yeah, so me and my wife, we're still watching Yellowstone, still enjoying that one. I think in the pre-show I might have mentioned that I'm going back through a second time through Billions, trying to get caught back up before that gets restarted again.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought I'd mention, a movie I'm kind of looking forward to. It's one with Clint Eastwood. It's called Cry Macho. Is his new movie that he's coming out. And I don't know, me for one, I just think it's absolutely amazing that a guy 91 years old is still, not only just acting in the movie, but he also directed the movie. Right. Wow. So really looking forward to that. I don't think I've ever seen a Clint Eastwood movie I didn't like. And I'm sure this one will be no different. And just to see that guy at age 91 still, putting out quality stuff, just a little excited to see this one.
All right. Yeah, I thought maybe you had a typo in there and it was actually nacho. But no spicy nachos, cry nacho. It's actually cry macho.
Well, it could be a cry nacho, especially if it had jalapenos.
The spoof is coming.
And
I know
it. Rubbed your eye,
The spoof is coming, guys. You know it. It's coming.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. But I haven't really been excited about a Clint Eastwood movie in years. So
yeah, that's another reason too. He hasn't made much lately.
Well, he did the Gran Torino just a few years ago, which he won tons of awards with. He did the Mule.
And that was pretty good.
There was the Mule a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Mule. I didn't watch that one actually, so I should go back and maybe watch that.
Yeah, I think his movies have been kind of hit and miss since he hit his peak with co-starring with the orangutan.
Hey man, he's 91.
I know.
Yeah.
It was 40 years ago.
Yes.
Because
even 40 years ago, he was still not young in the springtime.
No, but that, like I said, those are his best movies. Were Any Which Way You Can and Any Which Way But Loose.
I mean, literally 40 years ago, he was 51.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you mentioned Billions. Oh, go ahead.
I remember.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you remember?
Well, what I remember is that on Friday evening, we stayed up extremely late because we immediately after work went straight to visit a friend of my wife's. Her husband just got promoted to lieutenant colonel in the Army. Mm-hmm. So we came over and spent the day over at his house and with his family. That's just, I have a small family of me, my wife, and my son. They've got 5 kids and 3 dogs and neighbors over, and it's just crazy the whole time, but all having a good time. So we decided to bring over a gift, and so we decided when we went the day before and we went and searched for something that he might like. We figured since he was becoming lieutenant colonel, he might actually get an office now. That might be nice. And so what he needs if he has an office is he needs a couple nice glasses, a decanter, and a bottle of bourbon, right? So we looked and we found Old Soldier Bourbon, which it's made in Tacoma by veterans, and it's 40% ABV. And we bought a box to present it in, and we brought it to him, and he loved it. He tried it and said it would taste really good. I didn't. We don't know anything about it. We just thought you might like it, and he did. Okay. And we stayed up all night with those kids and at that house to keep everybody, all kinds of food.
Drinking bourbon with him.
No, I offered, but I decided against it. He said no. He just wanted to try a sip of it to see if he liked it. But and he liked it. So
all right, good story.
That was took all of my Friday evening and very late into the night, which kind of ruined my Saturday. So, and then Sunday, we just tried to recover and do, chores and tried to. It was a recovery weekend after that, essentially for us, and the house burning down.
All right.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Jimmy, you were mentioning getting ready for when Billions comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been back for a few weeks.
Okay.
I've been watching it. And I'm realizing I don't think I like it anymore.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Yeah, it's partly because they ended it mid-season last year for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're picking up a year and a half later, basically the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And number one, I barely remember any of the things that were threads that were started in the beginning of that season almost 2 years ago. And also, it just kind of feels bleh. I was bored. I was really bored. There was other things that kind of made it weird, but that's too spoilery, and I won't go there. Yeah.
So not their best season then.
I think they made it worse. Trying. They did a couple things in the first episodes back to try and make it, to just make that transition a little easier, and I think it backfired, and I don't know.
So you're saying this is kind of like maybe the Let It Be album?
And I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. I'm saying I think I am bored, and I think I'm kind of done. So
I think that if the rule applied works here, it's going to
get another like 10 seasons.
It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, I'm just.
Or maybe this is the Let It Be season, and then next year they'll come out with the Abbey Road season. Maybe that's what it'll be, because they're rusty, and I mean the creators, not just the actors, but the creators and writers and everybody else that goes into that show, right? They're all probably having to kind of knock off the dust, right? To kind of get back into it, and maybe this season is kind of like what you say is not going to be quite as good, but then maybe they get warmed up, and for the next season they'll do better.
And I'm not saying it's not good, Wabbit. Don't get me wrong. I'm just realizing that I don't think I care anymore.
Yeah.
It's been gone so long that I don't think I care.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of the way I felt after what was the Netflix original big hit?
Stranger
the first
Things?
one, the first one.
Oh, the one in where, House of Cards.
House of Cards, yes. And who was the big actor that?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. That's kind of how I felt after he left the show, and it's like,
well, he didn't leave the show. He got Me Too'd, and they had to get rid of him so that they wouldn't kill the show.
Whatever. After he wasn't on the show anymore, I just kind of lost interest.
No, I did the same thing after the first season. They got rid of the only character that I cared about. I like Kate Mara, and
who was in Billions?
She was. I like her, and they disposed of her at the end of the first season, and then I tried to watch the second season, and I just couldn't get into season 2 because same thing with Game of Thrones. Took the only character I cared about, I actually enjoyed, and
did you see her in the Hulu show?
Which show?
It was called Teacher, I think.
No. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think I've seen most of the stuff she's in.
If you didn't watch Teacher on Hulu, you should watch that one.
She was in the first season of American Horror Story, I believe.
And Matt, if you watch Teacher, do that without your kids.
No, he watches most things without his kids, especially if we recommend them.
A teacher, you mean? It's called A Teacher.
A teacher.
It may be A Teacher.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I think this is the point where everybody else just doesn't care either. So they just kind of want to get out of here. So we can go ahead and shut this down and say thank you. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, for listening to this after the fact, for however you're consuming this. Thank you. Reminder, we do this live every Wednesday night now from YouTube. Come on over, hang out, say hi in the chat. Get to submit titles. You get to also hang around for the post show. But if you would prefer to listen to us and not look at us,
we understand.
Yeah, I get it. That's how I consume most of my shows, in the car when I'm, to distract me from the idiots around me. Give my finger a break. If you want the podcast, you can get it everywhere that podcasts are available. It comes out eventually, everywhere, eventually. But if you just gotta have it, become a patron. Patrons get it almost immediately after this thing's done. So, other than that, go to all the places. At the VOD Squad on Twitter. You want to send us a message, you can go to thevodsquad@gmail.com. You want to talk with us, there's a link someplace to the Discord where weird stuff happens sporadically.
Genocide of wasps happened.
Oh yeah, wasp genocide. I forgot all about that.
That was
Oh, I gotta post that video. The video is coming soon.
okay.
I forgot to hit upload the other day. Thanks for reminding me. But yeah, nothing else. So I guess thank you. And we will see everybody later. Bye.
Farewell.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I wasn't expecting the farewell.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's fine.
Wasp genocide.
Hey, I did erect a monument in their honor, in memory.
I saw that. I think it's excellent. And 20 years from then, they're going to come out and they're going to have a memorial.
They've already decided to move in. Honestly, I think it was a bunch of wasps that just happened to be gone. They came back. They're just like, wait, what's going on? Hey, it's like somebody that was out of town. And when our 9/11
what happened
happened
to this place?
They were out of town and they, up in upstate New York camping in the woods, no radio or anything. They come back, go, wait,
what happened?
What happened?
Oh well.
You know what else happened?
What?
Recording stopped.
Nice.
That's what happened. Yeah. So
we have titles. If you want to go to tvs.showbot.tv and vote on titles, you can vote on all these amazing titles. Why don't I tell you about these titles? I like titles. We have the we have. Okay.
Tittles.
That's not a title. We have Swoled because Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Last Quibi story?
No.
Practice Safe Gaming.
Yes.
I like that one. Pants support this show. I like that one too. And Quibi keeps on giving. That's true. It does.
They keep giving their stuff away because they can't sell it.
Nope. Oh my god. Excuse me. Oh my goodness gracious.
only complaint I have about Swoled is it sounds too much like Swola.
What's Swola?
Ola England is a guitar player. He has a channel. And
Nope.
Sunday with Ola is Swola.
I've heard people call the Switch OLED model
Yeah, I
as the
understand.
SWOLED. So
I got that.
I figured it'd be fine to call it that. But yeah, I don't know. Well, it wasn't really the main story, anyways. I don't think it should win, quite frankly. Yeah. Other than that, no, I want to try that old Soldier about sometime, but I never got around to trying it that night because I was driving home. A little bit. It was opened up pretty late, and
that's why you have kids, so they can drive you home.
Yeah, I have a kid, and I don't trust his driving. What are you talking about? No way. No.
Make him sit on your lap. That's my dad always did.
No.
I used to drive down the freeway when I was a kid.
It's funny you mentioned the bourbon. I was looking at some bourbon the other day. It's like, it's been a while since I've tried any of that. Maybe I should buy a bottle.
Well, this bourbon is smooth, unlike some. So,
Boy, what was the name of it again? Old Soldier?
Old Soldier. Bottled in Tacoma.
So, I might give it a shot.
Yeah. Every once in a while I go, it would probably be nice to be able to sit around and sip some bourbon with the friends. Mm-hmm. And then I get close enough that I can smell it, and I immediately, my gag reflex kicks in, and I go, nope.
Well, this is apparently corn bourbon, not rye bourbon.
It doesn't matter.
So.
I've tried all of the different whiskeys. Right. It's that smell. My body is like, no.
So, Clyde, you drink no alcohol at all?
I'll have beer sometimes. I can do, if it's a special occasion, I can do a couple of shots of Jaeger or whatever. But
the most alcohol I drink is on this show.
Rum and whiskey, I can't get anywhere near rum and whiskey because the minute I smell it, I vomit.
And how do you feel about wine?
I'm indifferent. I've just never really got the appeal. It's one of those things where if it, fancy meal and there's wine, I'll have a glass or two.
Right. It's much better with the right food, right?
Exactly.
You're not going to have a burger and a glass of wine.
Actually, you guys will appreciate this. Yeah. You guys will appreciate this. When I was in Bahrain, the Navy base there, you can't leave the base without a armed escort. This was in 2000. Well, I signed up for, it was like a wine and cigar dinner. And I was like, all right, go check it out. So everybody that signed up for it, we got in this like armored vehicle and they drove us through the city, and we got to like some warehouse and we go inside, and it was the fanciest restaurant I have ever seen inside what looked like a rundown, bombed out building on the outside. And then it ended up being like a 12-course meal, and everything was paired and set up around
12-course meal
or whatever. It was like 10, 12. Food just kept coming and coming, but they had things that would lead up to, each place had a pause. So you had a specific like wine and cigar pairing. So they had different types of cigars. So you eat and you're like, I am too full. And then you sit back with everybody and you smoke this cigar. And then by the time you're done with the cigar, like a half hour later, more food comes. And then there was like four different, there ultimately ended up being 4 different cigars through this night. It was amazing. And yeah, there's all different kinds of wines, but yeah, they paired the wine and the cigars to the food, and everything was built on top of each other. It was great. It was something I never would have expected in a country like Bahrain.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to those restaurants where they do the pairings for you,
Mhm.
you know, not a 12-course meal, but
Yeah.
maybe, you know, maybe a 3 or a 4,
Yeah.
or, you know, something like that, right? And, and if you've never tried that, you should try that at least once,
Mhm.
right? Because it's really good, and the food that they pair it with, that really makes the wine. I mean, I enjoy just sipping wine by itself, but um, but if you've got it paired with the right food, no, it really
Yeah.
does make a difference.
There was a couple people that came along. They just wanted the food, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't really want the cigar." And the people there, they were like, "No, you have to smoke the cigar. It,
Mhm.
everything hinges on that." No, I don't want to. It's like, no, you have to. And then they did, and then went, oh, because the flavors complemented, and it added something a little extra to the food, and then everything was just like, oh, I don't smoke, I hate cigars, but
Yeah.
wow, this makes a difference.
So yeah, the cigar wasn't to induce vomiting or anything, right?
No. And I've never been a big cigar guy. That's another thing,
Yeah.
like
Me either. I've never been. I mean, I've been around guys who were, right. One of my gambling buddies I used to go to Las Vegas with all the time. He was a big cigar guy. You know, and that was back in the days when you could smoke in the casinos, right? And he'd always have like some big stogie while he was in there gambling, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
We used to do that at Busch Gardens in Virginia, because Busch Gardens, if you came in from the one gate, right there by the gate they had a dedicated tobacco store. And they had all different kinds of cigars and stuff. So we would stop there on our way into the park, and then just basically walk around the park smoking cigars for the rest of the day. Just, why not be obnoxious? Bunch of 20-somethings. This was before we could go to bars. We were at 19 and 20. So it was like, may as well cause problems for everybody. But we used to get those skinny, like kind of lumpy cigars that you'd see like Clint Eastwood smoke, and like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and stuff like that. They'd have those. They had everything.
Yeah, we went down to one of our trips down to Key West. I don't know what it is, right? But my wife, she always wants to, like, when she gets around like a cigar shop or something like that, like, oh, I want to try that. I really want to try that. Mm-hmm. And and if you ever go to Key West, there's a lot of cigar. You'll find several cigars.
Where there are Cubans, there will be cigars.
Right, exactly. Right. So anyway, so she was we'd pass by a couple of them or something, and she would mention every time, and it's like, all right, let's go in there and try one. Right? I'll try it with you. Right. And so we go in there, we pick out some cigars, and even buy one of those fancy lighters that makes that shoots a little flame out, makes the noise,
basically a flamethrower.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And so I light her up, I light me one up, and she's sitting there, and I took a picture of her. Right, she's like kind of like laughing, and I think she took all of about maybe 4 puffs up that cigar, and then all of a sudden she starts putting it out. She says, "Yeah, I think I'll just save this for later." Right. And then I just bust out laughing. I'm like, "You're not going to smoke that." Who are you kidding?
Let me guess. Was she inhaling it like a cigarette?
That's
a lot of people do. And then they're like,
I don't, maybe. She might have been a little bit.
Yeah. You're supposed to just let it roll around in your mouth, but
right.
Yeah.
I've never been a smoker, but even I know not to inhale it, right? And it just wasn't. I don't know what kind of a guy. I mean, I don't know much about cigars or anything, but yeah, I knew when after about that I probably knew after about the second puff that she wasn't going to last long, right? And after about that fourth puff or something like that, and it's like I knew she was done.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Word. All right. So what do we got for titles?
Our titles.
Quibi Keeps on Giving is in the win.
It is currently the winner. I guess it keeps on winning too. So Quibi, Quibi, Quibi. It's like saying Tora, 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 right?
Keeps on giving.
Hey, did I tell you guys I signed up for ESPN Plus?
Oh, you did you? Did you get the bundle?
Yeah, well, I did, but and I didn't realize, right? Because it was one of the reasons why I kept putting it off, right? I was like, well, why should I get the bundle? Because I already have Hulu and I've already got Disney Plus, right? And if you do have both of those already, and let's say you sign up for the bundle, they only charge you just for the difference.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to pay the whole thing twice. Well, that was my ignorance, right? Not thinking.
Yeah, it ends up being cheaper, or basically ESPN Plus is almost free. Used to be free, but it's
I think after tax and everything, it was like $4.
Yeah, it's what I'm getting.
So, and the reason why I got it right is because, and I think you guys talked about it last week, right? Lowcast was no longer there, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to have an option to watch Monday Night Football.
Can you? Because on ESPN Plus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I watched Monday Night Football, but see, when ESPN Plus does it, it's the Manning brothers that does the telecast. So it was Eli and Peyton. No, it was great. I loved it.
No, I can't stand Eli.
But it was great. I mean, they were really funny, and throughout the whole game, right? And keep in mind, I'm a Raiders fan, right? Mm-hmm. So that was the main reason why I was watching it. But throughout, is the first time I'd seen them do that, right? And they're calling the game, right? And they're doing a lot of shenanigans and that kind of thing. And they would have other ball players come in, like Charles Barkley was there. Ray Lewis came in, made an appearance. They even had some of the current football players. What's the tight end for Kansas City? Kelsey, right? Oh, okay. I think's his last name. He was there. Russell Wilson was there. He was there at the end of the game, right? So they'd bring in all these other guys, to kind of, help them call. And it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it, right? So it was good. If you haven't tried out ESPN Plus, anybody who's still out there, it's worth getting.
Yeah, no, Eli Manning is a baby. Because if you remember when he got drafted, he got drafted by the Chargers. And he said, I refuse to play for the Chargers. I will not play for the Chargers. And they, and if I were in charge of the Chargers at that point, I would have been like, all right, well, you can't go anywhere because you're drafted by us. And then I would have just ruined his career and said, no. But they traded him. They ended up trading. They basically wasted their, I think it was their first, they had the first pick. And they wasted it on him and got garbage in return by trading him to the Giants where he wanted to be. Because he pitched a fit and cried to his mommy and daddy and his big brother to help.
Who was quarterback for the Chargers right now?
Well, Rivers. They ended up with Rivers.
They ended up with Rivers, but that's when
yeah, I don't know who.
The guy who went to the Saints. I can't think.
Roethlisberger?
No.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
He didn't go to the Saints.
No, Breeze.
Yeah, it's Drew Brees.
That's what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, Drew Brees. Yeah, I think they had him, and I think that was the year that Brees had the injury, right? And I think they were looking to replace Brees is what they were looking to do, right? But then they ended up getting Phillip Rivers instead.
Yeah,
it was still a good quarterback.
Right? Yeah, but they wasted their first draft on a guy who basically screwed them over. And yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the guy.
Yeah, I can understand that. Still,
But at this
You know,
point,
Eli-
the Chargers are dead to me, so whatever.
yeah. Now the whole team picked up and left, right?
Spanos moved the team out of spite and then died. And now the team's stuck in LA. LA doesn't want him. San Diego will not root for him because they're in LA. There was a point where LaDainian Tomlinson was literally crying on TV, begging San Diego to please still root for us. We need fans. And yeah, Spanos, he's screwed.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about the Raiders going to Las Vegas either, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I was going to say if I have to have a football team, I'm probably finally on the Raiders side because I would consider Vegas as one of my homes.
Mhm.
Spend enough time there every year.
Yeah, adopt the Raiders. Yeah, of course.
I may as well.
Yeah, I've been. I always like it. They're in the game too. It always puts a smile on my face when because you see the fans up there wearing the jerseys and that kind of thing. And if you see guys like about my age, right, there'll be some of them that you always see at least one up in the stand, right, and he'll have like a Stabler jersey on, right, from Ken Stabler, right, yeah. So.
Yeah, see, and that was the thing. I could never support them when they were in LA because LA. Oakland, yeah, right. Yeah, they're Vegas. I'd probably get down with some Vegas.
Yeah, they got a pretty good team, but I don't know. I mean, they came close to making the playoffs last year, but it's a 17-game season this year.
Yep. Yeah,
which I didn't realize that until just last week.
Yeah, they got to make up for last year. Also, I think they're trying to keep Brady from getting another ring.
Yeah.
Draw out the season so that it ups the chance of him getting hurt.
I don't know why he's coming. Why didn't he just retire after last year?
Because he can get another ring.
People are giving him more money.
Hell yeah. He's got his best buddy on his team. They're the dynamic duo. He finally put that argument to bed, whether, were the Patriots winning all those years because of the coaching or cheating, or was it just because I keep saying Breeze. Brady is just that good, and go to Florida and turn around that team that was like just terrible.
Yeah.
So clearly it's all Brady.
Hey, I've never been a New England fan, but I've been a Tom Brady fan though. Tom Brady, I mean, what if you like him or not, right? You got to give it to him, right? Because he's a heck of a quarterback. Right?
I never had anything against him other than New England.
Yeah. I've never been much of a New England fan.
But. I don't. That whole part of the country can, whatever. I'm not interested.
But I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of good to see the old guy get another one last year. Like you said, just go down there to a team that wasn't doing anything.
It up.
Yeah.
I was laughing. I laughed my way through the entire season of everybody going, "What is happening?"
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think they'll be good again this year too. I mean, obviously so, but I think for the NFC, I kind of think Seattle's going to be there again.
Also, he doesn't want to be compared to what's his face from Favre. Doesn't want to be compared to Favre, where Favre left. He retired, but then he came back out of retirement immediately to play for Minnesota for one season. Where all the all the cheeseheads hated him because he was playing for Minnesota, but then everyone in Minnesota hated him because he was a cheesehead.
Mhm.
It's just like,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
You can't argue with it, man. I mean, he went to another team. Has there ever been another quarterback that went to another team and won a Super Bowl?
I
Sure there has been.
think most quarterbacks win a Super Bowl once they go to a different team.
I'm talking about win one for the team they started out
Oh.
with, and then went and go to another.
I was
team
gonna
and won.
say that's it's well known that basically if you're on the Vikings and the path to a Super Bowl ring is to get traded. Because they always, once they get traded, they end up on teams that win the Super Bowl.
Sounds like
Yeah.
the Mariners and how to get to the World
I mean,
Series.
Yep.
The only two guys I can think of that's done that is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has done that.
There's got to be people through the years, but I don't know. I'm not a big football guy, so I don't know the history.
And for the Super Bowl, no. I mean, before the Super Bowl, yes, probably so. Right? But in the Super Bowl era, I
mean,
think
that's
those two might have been the
almost
only
50
ones.
years, right?
50 years.
Yeah, it's 50 years of Super Bowl.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because it's Super Bowl 53 was.
Well, it was 67, I think, was the first Super Bowl.
Okay.
Wasn't that the first Super Bowl year?
Yeah, I was gonna say because
So it's
the
over 50,
Super
it's
Bowl
over
in Minnesota
50.
was the big lie, LII, which would be 52, right?
Right. So yeah, in 2027, that'll be the 60, the Super Bowl 60.
But that's what I was saying. They're in the 50 plus years of the Super Bowl, there has to be somebody that won and then went to another team and won. There's got to be others, but
Players, yes, but not quarterbacks.
oh no, that's what I'm talking about, quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But there's got to be at least one or two others, but who knows?
I think it's just those two because, used to quarterbacks would just, players would just start out with one team and retire with that team.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't have the free agency like what they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, there's been, Joe Montana, won 4 Super Bowls, as a 49er.
How many did Joe Montana win?
4.
Joe Montana?
Montana, yes.
No, I'm talking Joe Montana.
Then I don't know who you speak of.
Hold on. Okay.
I didn't know that there was such a quarterback. Maybe there was.
Joe Montana is an actor.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd know him if you saw him. Here we go.
What was he in?
Everything. Hold on, I'm going to image tab. Here we go. Web. Joe Montana.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, you'll know him. He's been in everything.
Yeah, he has been in a lot of things, TV shows as well.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
that's Joe Montana. So I want to see him. Joe Montana's football. Somebody's had to have made that parody.
But Montana, though, he went to Kansas City, took them close to the Super Bowl, but not all the way there. Favre did the same thing.
All righty. Well, we may as well shut this down. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. And we will catch you all next week.